Hey guys, it's Pat from Pat's Brewery, and this week we're going to be building a jockey box. So for those of you that are asking the question, what the hell is a jockey box? Well, it is something that you probably do not need. It is purely a novelty item that you can say, yeah, that's cool. Effectively, it is for the purpose of being able to serve your beer cold out in the wild, where you don't have the luxury of your kegerators and keezers, with the bonus of it looking cool because you're serving your beer from a tap still, rather than the dreaded picnic tap. Now, as I say, there is absolutely no reason why anyone really needs to build one of these things other than for the fact that it is cool. And everyone looks at it and goes, yeah, that's cool. So, you know, I fully understand that this is, without a shadow of a doubt, a novelty item that I'm putting together. But why not do things if not for the novelty at times? So this is what we're going to be doing. Now, before we get started, this is the idea of what we're trying to achieve. And we're going to be doing that by using or reusing certain items, getting things maybe a little bit cheaper because I saw things on eBay, and yeah, and there has had to be some new purchases for this. But effectively, the principle of it all is that we will have our kegs on the outside of our cool box right here. We'll be running lines into the cool box, which will be filled with ice. The lines will get cooled by the ice and then come out the taps. No different from your keezer. Only thing being is that you need to obviously put ice in there. Most of you will know that the likes of beer line isn't necessarily the greatest conductor. So what are we going to be using to cool our beer? We're going to be using maxi chiller cooling coils. Okay, so these used in pubs, in maxi chillers, to do just what I've just said. Go from you know, your kegs at cellar temperature through the maxi chillers. We'll cool them right down to the serving temperatures as needed in pubs. Now, you'd be surprised how many of these are being sold on eBay. I was able to get two 8-meter coils for under 30 quid, I think it was. So what I would class as a proper bargain, considering the price of other things that are stainless steel out there. I think a lot of it comes from the fact that there are people that are converting maxi chillers into glycol chillers for like their fermenters and bits and pieces, and they don't need these anymore. So by being able to, you know, they're making a little bit of money back, and I'm getting a couple of coils. As I say, got two 8-meter ones here. Here's a question that you may be asking. Well, do I need to use stainless steel for my coils? I've done a little bit of research into this, and technically you could use copper, but because of the acidity and alcohol that is in beer, you can get a very metallic taste come across into your beer, which obviously you don't get prior to fermentation, but you do afterwards. There was talks about potential copper poisoning, but that kind of got debunked quite a bit with regards to, do you know how long your beer would need to be sitting within the copper coils for that to happen. But that metallic taste is something that can happen. So the fact that I was able to get these, what I would class as relatively cheaply, means that, you know, stainless steel all the way. So we've got those two items there. Right, with regards to the taps, yes, I bought two new taps. Now you can get different taps in different places at different prices. I was tempted to buy two new taps in a different style that was going to go on my keezer, and then I'll take 2 taps off of that and then use those. But in the end I just decided to get 2 new taps for this. So in any case, we've got 2 taps. Why? Because 1 beer is just not enough. That'll be going in there. So again, general principle, beer line will go in through the back, into the coils, cool it down, out through the front. Really, I'm hoping that this will just be a bit more of an assembly video, really, than a build video. It's, you know, in principle, a pretty easy one. Now, with regards to the cool box, this is my old mash tun. That's why I had one of this size. You know, this is a 60 quart cool box from Coleman. So obviously different cool boxes will be able to hold different size coils and whatnot. My beer lines from my Keyser build, 10 feet, right? And that sorts out the pressure with regards to my Keyser from keg through to tap. So 8 meters is well more than 10 feet. So what I may need to take into account is pressure ratings and stuff like that. But we'll get to that bit once we've got it all built up. And lastly, with regards to things we're going to need are an assortment of different John Guest fittings. You know, we all have loads of these because you never know when you need, what you need, how you need. Yeah, with regards to a lot of this may just be version 1. I might tidy it up in the future, but let's have a go. Okay, we're going to have a little look inside the mash tun, see how these measure up. Obviously, I'll give it a bit more of a clean before I start sticking ice and bits in there, but that'll be all after. Right, so here are our cooling coils. Now, I guess one of the other options to cooling coils is you can get flat plates that I've seen, the malt Miller sell one, but I think they're quite expensive. So maybe that's why I've not gone with that, because as much as I like to spend money, I'm also a little bit cheap. Now, just having a little bit look at the best configuration for these, can see that because of the wheels on this, that's getting a little bit stuck there. Also, we don't really want to be keeping it in an upright position, because obviously if the ice is in here, you know, it will be slightly warmer at the top. So we are going to be trying for a configuration that's a little bit more along these lines, but maybe a little bit tidier. Now, I may be tempted to actually try and bend, because I'm not planning on reselling this or anything. I might intend to try and actually bend the stainless steel coil in an upwards direction. Now, some of you that have been watching videos for a while might know that last time I tried to bend stainless steel, it didn't go too well for me. Oh, fuck. But, you know, that was the past, and we learn from things, don't we? So we'll see how that goes. I think one of the things that I will do, though, is actually remove these bits of plastic, because I think having any little bit of movement up here will help us with that. So I'll do that now. So even just without those bits of plastic on there, gives us a fair bit more wiggle room. Things are sitting a little bit nicer. Now if you can see this little bit here in my mash tun, that's because, yeah, as I say, it used to be a mash tun, and I actually lost the original plug for the mash tun, so I've just left the ball valve attached to that, so no problems there. Now I am going to be giving these a bit more of a clean, and running some beer line cleaner through them, don't worry. But for the point of this today, we're just going to be doing a bit of a dry fit. Now I'm just having a little bit of a look through my bits and pieces, my spares, to see what we have available with regards to connecting up our coils to the beer lines that's going to be going in there. There we are. So we've got some elbows. We got, actually I think I might have some more elbows. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Let's make it consistent. 4 elbows. I wonder if they should all pop on there. Ooh. That makes that a little bit tighter. Elbows may not be the way forwards. Ooh. But in the meantime, I think it is about time we looked at drilling our holes to get the rest of our fittings in. So let's take these out and we'll get the drilling. Right guys, believe it or not, we're already done. As I say, this is more like an assembly video than a how-to, or it's one of them bits where surprisingly straightforward. After removing these plastic bits from the coils, was able to kind of adjust them, so actually we were able to fit the elbow John Guest fittings, which meant we've been able to connect just some standard 3/8 pipe work from the John Guest fitting to the tap. And then with regards to going from the coil out the back to our standard beer line, I was tempted to actually use a couple of straight connectors, a couple of John Guest straight connectors maybe on the outside of the bit here, and then that way this would be kind of all one box, and then you'd have the rest of the line going to the keg, and then it'd be a little bit maybe neater or something like that. But in the end I was kind of like, what's the point? Don't need to really do that. With regards to lengths of beer line, I've just gone with whatever I had available. 2 bits, both of them, one slightly longer than the other. But the key thing for me when deciding what bits of beer line and how long it needed to be was, well, if it's up on a table, you want it to be able to reach down and, I can, you see that? Let's have a little look down. Got a keg here, so if it's up on a table, will it reach the keg if the keg's there? And the answer should be yep. And obviously if it's tall enough to reach down from a table or down onto a keg like that, then it also needs to be able to get to the floor and reach onto a keg like that. So that's perfectly simple. With regards to the holes needing to be drilled, most people that have done this will have already done a kegerator build of some sort, but just to go over it, for the taps I used a 22mm hole cutting drill bit like that, and for the holes in the back, just for the 3/8 pipe work, a 10mm drill piece like that. I mean, that is about it really for the build. All that we've got left really to do is a little bit of a dry run. What time for a little demo? Demo purposes only. This isn't going to be a perfect pour, but we've got our keg on the outside of the jockey box with our portable CO2 and regulator hooked up to the keg, beer line going from the keg to the back of the jockey box. As we come in, we have our beer line, and obviously there will be more ice on the occasions when we're using this in real time, ice and water to then come out of the tap. Only one last thing to do, and that is to serve ourselves, very likely, a very foamy beer. Well, I did say it would be foamy. Last thing to do, guys, I think, is to give this Jockey box the Pat's Brewery seal of approval. Till next time, guys, I'm in Pat from Pat's Brewery. Cheers.